How did one happy family photo turn into a public DNA notice in a bright courthouse lobby? Why did my husband stay calm, smile politely, and let the legal results speak for him when I thought I controlled the story? My name is Alathea Quill, and I always knew how to make things look clean on the outside. I worked at a dental office. I booked appointments, smiled at nervous people, and told them everything would be fine. I did the same thing at home. When I got pregnant, I told myself it was a fresh start. I told myself it would fix the distance between me and my husband, Evan. I also told myself I did not need to explain every detail to him. I still think a wife needs space. A woman needs air. Evan had been acting different for months. He asked more questions than before. He watched my face when I answered. He said he was trying to understand, but it felt like he was trying to catch me. I decided that if he acted like a judge, then he did not deserve my full truth. One morning in our kitchen, he asked why I was late coming home the night before. I said the dental office had run behind, and I had to help close. He asked why my location showed I was near the river. I said my phone was wrong and he was being intense. He said he only wanted calm and honesty. I said he wanted control. I watched his mouth tighten. He did not raise his voice. That was almost worse, because it made me look like the loud one if I reacted. So I stayed cool, like I was the adult in the room. I told my friends later that Evan was acting jealous. I said he was making my pregnancy stressful. Cassidy, my best friend, said a man like that needed to be put in his place. She told me to stop feeding his worries. She said I should focus on myself and the baby. I liked how that sounded. I liked how it made me feel right. The truth was simple, but I did not like simple truth. The baby might not be Evan's. I did not say that out loud, not even to myself, not in a full sentence. I kept it as a soft shadow behind my thoughts. I told myself that shadows were not real. Noah Pierce was part of that shadow. He ran the gym near my work. He was friendly, always smiling, always saying I looked tired and deserved rest. When I complained about Evan being distant, Noah nodded like he understood my whole life in 2 seconds. He said I was strong. He said I carried too much. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong by talking to someone who listened. When I started seeing Noah more, I told myself it was not an affair. I told myself it was comfort. I told myself Evan had pushed me there by being cold. I said respect follows results, and I had results. I was still keeping the house together. I was still working. I was still smiling. At my first big pregnancy appointment, Evan wanted to come. He said he wanted to hear the doctor with me. I agreed because refusing would look bad. I needed to look like the open, honest wife. In the clinic waiting room, Evan sat close but not too close. He watched the other couples. He watched me too. He asked when the nurse said my due date. I said it was around the time we expected. He asked if the doctor could be more exact. I said he was making it into a math problem. I kept my voice soft so other people could hear and think he was the one causing trouble. I knew how to do that. I had learned it over years. If I sounded calm, then his concerns sounded sharp. After we got home, Evan washed his hands and wiped the counter twice. He opened his phone calendar. I saw a reminder flash for a second, something like a place name and a time in the morning. He clicked out of it fast when he noticed me watching. I told myself he was planning something dramatic. I told myself he liked to look busy so people would praise him. Later that night, he sat at his desk with a folder that said bank on it. It was not a fancy folder. It was plain. It made my stomach turn anyway. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household things. I said he never cared about that before. He said he cared now because we had a baby coming. I wanted to laugh and call him fake. I did not. I smiled and told him I was tired. I went to bed first. I needed to keep my anger quiet, like a secret. The next day at work, I told Priya, a coworker, that Evan was stressing me out. I said he questioned me like I was a teenager. She asked what he questioned. I said it was small stuff, like my schedule and my phone. She looked at me for a moment too long and then nodded. She said pregnancy could make everything feel bigger. I agreed. I made it about hormones because hormones were a perfect shield. At lunch, I went to a co-working cafe near the gym. I told Evan I had errands. I liked that cafe because nobody asked who I was. I sat in a corner and charged my phone. Noah texted me and asked how I was feeling. He said he missed me. He also said we needed to be careful about timing, and he added a little clock emoji like it was funny. My chest went tight. I told him it was fine. I said I had it handled. I said Evan was distracted with work. When I stood to leave, my screen lit up again. Noah's message preview showed more than I wanted. I angled the phone away fast. I was good at moving without looking guilty. But Evan was in the doorway of the cafe, like a mistake walking toward me. He asked what I was doing there. I said I was picking up a document from a print shop next door. He asked why I did not tell him I would be in that area. I said he did not need my exact map every hour. He said he had not been tracking me, but he saw my car when he drove by. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. I told myself he did it on purpose. I told myself he wanted to scare me. I told myself that was emotional abuse, even if he never touched me and never yelled. I decided he was the villain, because that made my life easier. He asked if we could talk in the car. I said we could talk at home. He asked if I was meeting someone. I said he was accusing me, and I said that was cruel when I was pregnant. He looked like he wanted to argue, but he did not. He nodded once. He said he wanted to come to the next appointment with me too. I said fine, like it did not matter. Inside my head, I started building my next story. If he kept chasing me, I would tell people he was obsessed. If he stayed calm, I would tell people he was cold. Either way, I would be the one who needed sympathy, and I still believed I deserved it. Back at the dental office, I acted like everything was normal. I wore my best scrub top and tied my hair the way patients liked. I smiled so much my cheeks hurt. People think a smile means a clean life. Priya asked how the appointment went. I said the doctor said the baby looked fine. She asked if Evan was excited. I said he was excited in his own way, but he kept turning everything into questions. I said it like a joke, like I was the relaxed one. Priya did not laugh much. She just said pregnancy can be hard on couples, and then went back to her computer. I texted Cassidy and told her Evan followed me to a cafe. She wrote back that it was a red flag. She said men like that like to trap women. I liked that word, trap, because it made me feel like I was escaping something, not hiding something. I told her she was right. I told her Evan had been acting like he owned my time. That week, the office planned a small baby shower for me in the break room. I pretended I did not want one, but I loved attention. I loved being the center without saying I needed it. I told the staff I was grateful and tired and a little emotional. They gave me tiny socks and a soft blanket. Someone taped a paper sign that said, "Baby Quill." Evan came after work because I invited him. It was important that he showed up. It was important that he looked wrong next to me, like a guest in my life. He walked in with a gift bag and that careful face he had lately. He asked if I was feeling okay. I said I was fine, and I said he should try smiling because people were watching. Cassidy showed up too, even though it was my workplace. She hugged me and said she had to see me. She looked at Evan and said she was glad he could make time. She said it like she expected him not to. Evan said hello and thanked her for coming. He stayed polite. That made me want to push harder. When we opened gifts, I made small comments that sounded cute but were sharp. I said Evan did not know how many weeks I was, and I laughed. He said he knew, but he did not say it loud. I said he always acted like he was in a meeting. Someone laughed, and I saw Evan's eyes flick down, then back up. Afterward, he asked why I joked like that. I said it was harmless and he was too sensitive. He said he did not mind jokes, but he did not like being made small in front of others. I said he was making it about his pride, not my pregnancy. He said he wanted us to feel like a team. I said teams do not interrogate each other. At home that night, I saw him in the hallway with his phone. He was not scrolling. He was looking at a screen like he was reading a list. When I came closer, he locked the screen. The click sound was soft, but it hit my nerves. I asked what he was doing. He said he was checking reminders. I said it sounded like he was keeping score. He said he was just trying to stay organized. I told myself he was planning to blame me for something. I told myself I needed protection too. That is what I called it in my head. Protection, not lies, not manipulation, just protection. A few days later, we went to a bigger baby shower at the community hall. My mum hosted it and invited family friends, cousins, and people I barely knew. She liked events. She liked being seen as a good mother with a good daughter. I liked it too. I liked sitting in the center with a balloon arch behind me like a crown. Evan came in a clean shirt and brought flowers for my mom. That should have made him look good. I did not want that. Cassidy came in wearing a bright dress and a sharp smile. My sister Tessa came too and whispered that this crowd was a lot. I told her to relax and take pictures. My mom made a speech. She said I was brave and glowing. She said pregnancy was hard and a husband should make it easier. She looked at Evan when she said it. People laughed like it was a sweet joke. Evan nodded once and stared at his hands. Then it was my turn. I stood up and held my belly like it was a trophy. I said I was grateful for support. I said some people think pregnancy is easy, but it is not. I said some men do not understand feelings. I kept my voice calm, like I was sharing wisdom. I saw phones lift. I saw faces lean in. Evan asked later why I pointed at him without naming him. I said I was speaking in general, and he made everything personal. He said it felt personal because it was our life. I said our life was not only his comfort. Cassidy posted a short video of my speech and tagged me. She wrote a caption about strong women and weak support. It was not a direct attack, but it was clear enough. Comments came fast. Some people wrote that Evan needed to step up. Some people wrote that I deserved peace. I read them in bed while Evan washed bottles in the kitchen. He asked why I kept looking at my phone. I said people were checking on me. He asked why strangers had opinions about him. I said he was the one who cared about opinions, not me. He said he did not want to be discussed online. I said he should behave better if he did not want that. That weekend, Evan said he wanted to come with me to a prenatal class. I said he could if he wanted, but I said he should not ask so many questions in front of others. He asked what I meant. I said he sometimes sounded like he did not trust me. He said trust was not the same as ignoring things that did not fit. I said he was acting like a lawyer, and I said marriage was not a courtroom. Later, I stood on the balcony and called Noah. I did not call him from inside because Evan could hear. Noah asked how the showers went. I said everyone loved me, and Evan looked like a statue. Noah said Evan sounded boring. He said I deserved someone warm. I said warmth did not pay bills. Noah said neither did coldness. When I walked back inside, Evan was at his desk again. The plane folder was there, and now another one sat beside it. One said utilities. The other said household. I asked why he had so many folders. He said he was sorting everything for the baby. He said it would make life easier. His tone was calm, almost gentle. I wanted to scream that he did not get to act like the responsible one. I wanted to remind him that I was the one carrying the baby. Instead, I smiled and said he was being dramatic. He looked up at me like he was seeing a stranger. That night, I heard the printer in the spare room. One page came out, then another. When I walked in, the tray was empty. Evan said he was testing ink. I said it was late for ink tests. He said he could not sleep. I went back to bed and told myself it was fine. I told myself he was just anxious. I told myself I still had control because the world was on my side. And if I kept talking first, if I kept sounding calm, then everyone would believe my version before they ever heard his. The birth came fast, but I still tried to control it. I had a plan in my head. I wanted the hospital photos to look like a perfect family. I wanted Evan to look proud and calm next to me. I also wanted him to stop thinking about dates. I thought once the baby was in his arms, he would stop asking. In the maternity wing, everything smelled like soap and warm air. Nurses moved in and out like they had done this 1,000 times. My mum stayed close and kept fixing my blanket like it was her job. She asked if Evan was on the way. I said he was coming, but work always came first for him. She said that was typical. She said a real man would already be there. I did not correct her. I liked how it sounded when someone else said it. Evan arrived later with tired eyes and a small bag. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but I said it had been scary and he missed the hardest part. He asked why nobody called him sooner. I said I called, but he did not pick up, and I said maybe his phone mattered more than his wife. He said he had been in a meeting and drove as soon as he saw it. I said a meeting was not an excuse. He did not fight back. He just nodded and looked at the baby bassinet. He asked if the baby had eaten yet. I said the baby was fine, and he should stop acting like I could not handle anything without him. My mom stepped in and said, Evan should be grateful I was safe. Evan said he was grateful. He said it twice, like he was trying to keep his voice even. Noah came later, and I told myself it was normal. I told myself people visit. I told myself I deserved support. Noah texted and asked if I wanted him to stop by with coffee for my mom. I said yes, because coffee sounded safe. I also said he could come because I wanted Evan to see that I had options. I did not say that out loud. I kept it inside, like a small sweet candy I could suck on. When Noah arrived, he stood near the door at first. He asked how I was feeling. I said I was tired but proud. He looked at the baby and smiled too wide. Evan asked how Noah knew where we were. I said Noah cared enough to check in, and I said it was called kindness. Evan said he did not mean it like that. He said it was just unusual. My mom acted like Noah was part of the family. She asked if he was from work, and I said he was a friend who helped me stay healthy. My sister Tessa came in after that and froze when she saw Noah. She asked quietly who he was. I said he was just a friend. She said I had a lot of just friends lately. I told her to stop being rude in front of people. A nurse came in with forms and asked routine questions. She asked the baby's full name, my full name, and the father's name. I said Evan's name fast, too fast. Evan looked at me, then at the nurse. The nurse asked about blood type, allergies, and a few other details. Evan answered some correctly. I answered others. It felt like a test, even though nobody said it was. Later, Evan asked if the doctor gave an exact due date based on early scans. I said he should not talk about dates while I was holding the baby. He asked why I got angry when he asked normal things. I said because he was not normal. I said he was always hunting for problems. He said he was not hunting. He said he was trying to understand the truth so he could relax. I said if he could not relax, that was his issue. Noah asked if he could hold the baby for a second. I said yes because it was cute. I told myself it was harmless. Evan did not stop him. Evan just watched. His face did not change much, but his eyes did. They looked like they were counting something. In the hospital cafeteria, I sat with my mom and Evan while the baby slept upstairs. Noah had left, but his scent stayed on my skin in my mind. My mom talked about posting the first photo online. She asked Evan if he wanted to smile bigger in the next picture. Evan said he would smile when he felt it. My mum said that was a selfish answer. I laughed and said he was just tired. Evan asked if we could talk alone for a minute. I said sure, but I said we should not start drama in public. He said he did not want drama. He asked if I had been honest with him during the pregnancy. I said of course, and I said he was insulting me right after I gave birth. He said he was not insulting me. He said he felt like he was walking on glass with me. I said maybe he should stop stomping around then. He looked down at his phone. For a second, I heard a soft beep, like a tiny sound a phone makes when you start a recording. It was quick. He held the phone low, like it was nothing. I stared at it and felt heat rise in my neck. I asked what that sound was. He said it was an app notification. He said his phone did that sometimes. I said it was weird. He said a lot of things were weird lately. In the parking garage later, when we went to get his bag from the car, Evan moved like he was careful with every step. He opened the trunk and checked something in a side pocket. It looked like a small drive or a key, but I could not see well in the dark. I asked what he was looking for. He said he was checking he had everything we needed. I said he was acting like he was planning to leave. He said he was planning to take care of his family. On the way home, I kept talking. I told him he hurt me by being late. I told him he embarrassed me by looking unhappy in photos. I told him my mum noticed. He said he did not want to perform happiness for a camera. I said marriage required effort. He said effort was not the same as pretending. At home, the kitchen felt different. Evan washed his hands and set his mug on the far side of the counter. I set mine on the other side. The space between the mugs looked bigger than it should. He asked if I needed anything before he slept. I said I needed him to trust me. He asked how he could trust me if he could not ask questions. I said he could ask, but he could not accuse. That night, I woke up to feed the baby. Evan was not in bed. I found him on the couch in the living room with his phone glowing. He was not scrolling. He was just staring at a screen like he was listening to something. When I stepped closer, he locked the screen. I asked who he was talking to. He said nobody. He said he was reading. In the morning, I saw his contact list for a moment when he handed me his phone to take a picture. There was a new contact saved as a single emoji. No name, just an emoji. My stomach turned like I had missed a step on stairs. I asked what that was. He said it was nothing important. He said it was for work. I told myself he was hiding things now too, so it was fair. I told myself he started it with his questions. I told myself I still had the stronger story, because I was the new mum, and he was the man who could not handle feelings. I held the baby closer and decided that if Evan tried to make me look bad, I would make him look worse first. When we brought Mila home, I expected Evan to fall into the role I gave him. I expected him to become the grateful husband who stopped asking and started praising me. I expected the baby to cover everything like fresh paint. Instead, Evan got quieter. In our bedroom, I watched him fold tiny clothes with slow hands. He did not complain. He did not look angry. He just moved like he was handling something fragile that could crack if he breathed wrong. That calm made me feel guilty, and I hated that feeling. So I turned it into blame. He asked if I needed rest. I said I needed him to stop acting like a stranger. He asked what that meant. I said he looked at me like I was a problem, not his wife. He said he was tired and trying to be careful. I said being careful was just another word for not trusting me. He did not answer fast. He nodded once, like he was putting my words on a shelf. I started posting more online. I told myself it was harmless. I said I was building a support circle. I posted a photo of Mila's tiny hand in mine. I wrote that new mothers carried everything alone. I did not name Evan. I did not need to. People read what they wanted. Cassidy messaged me and said the post was strong. She said women needed to speak their truth. She said men only changed when the world watched. I liked that. I liked the idea that I was brave, not messy. Evan asked why I wrote alone when he was in the next room washing bottles. I said I meant alone in my feelings. He asked why I did not tell him my feelings first. I said I did, but he always turned it into an argument. He said he had not argued in days. I said his silence was still pressure. That night I heard a click from the hallway, like a drawer being locked. It came from the little cabinet by the stairs where we kept paperwork. I walked over and tried the handle. It was locked. That cabinet had never been locked before. I asked Evan why it was locked. He said he was keeping documents safe. I asked what documents. He said household things. I said I lived here too. He said yes, and he said that was why he wanted things to stay safe. His voice was calm, and it made me feel like I was the one breaking rules. I went back to the bedroom and told myself he was hiding something. I told myself it was unfair. I also told myself I was not scared. I still think I was right to protect myself. That is what I call it. The next day, my mum came over with soup and opinions. She looked at Evan like he was a tool that was not working right. She asked why he looked so serious all the time. He said he was tired. She asked if he even wanted to be a father. He said yes, and he said he was doing his best. My mum said best was not enough when a woman just gave birth. I sat there and let her speak for me. It felt good to have someone else do the cutting. After she left, Evan asked if I agreed with what she said. I said she was emotional because she loved me. He asked if I would tell her to stop attacking him. I said she was not attacking him. She was holding him accountable. He asked what he did wrong. I said he made everything tense by acting suspicious. He breathed in like he wanted to say more, then he stopped. He walked into the spare room and closed the door. Later, from the kitchen, I heard a low hum. It was the shredder. It ran for a few seconds, then stopped. Then it ran again. I stared at the wall like I could see through it. When I opened the spare room door, Evan was standing by the desk. The shredder bin looked empty from where I stood. I asked what he was shredding. He said junk mail. I said junk mail did not need to be shredded. He said his job made him careful about identity theft. I wanted to call him dramatic. I wanted to say he was trying to scare me, but he looked too calm, and I knew I would sound wild, so I smiled and said I understood. I acted supportive. I hate how good I am at acting supportive. At the dental office, I told Priya I had no sleep because Mila was up all night. Priya asked if Evan helped. I said he helped in small ways, but he did not understand what I needed. Priya asked what I needed. I said I needed trust and softness. Priya nodded, but her eyes stayed steady. She asked if I was safe. I laughed and said Evan was not violent, he was just cold. The word cold became useful. I used it with everyone. Cold sounds like a man's fault, not a woman's choices. That evening, Evan asked if I wanted to go for a walk by the river. I said yes because it sounded like a good photo moment. We pushed the stroller on the riverside path. The air was sharp and clean. Families passed us. Some looked at Mila and smiled. I smiled back like I was part of a normal story. Evan asked if we could talk without phones. I said sure, and I put my phone in my pocket with the camera facing out just in case. I told myself it was for safety. That word again. He asked if I had anything to tell him. I said I already told him everything. He asked if I could say it directly, without jokes or posts. I said he was trying to trap me into one right answer. He said he just wanted the truth. I said truth was not always simple, and he was acting like a machine. He looked ahead and kept walking. He did not shout. He did not beg. He just listened, like he was storing my words. At the supermarket the next day, Mila started crying in the checkout line. I bounced her gently and tried to look like a calm mother. Evan stood beside me and placed items on the belt in neat groups. The cashier glanced at Mila and said she had a strong chin. The cashier then said it looked like Noah's chin, like it was a normal comment. My whole body went hot. Evan's face did not change much. His eyes flicked to me, then back to the belt. He asked the cashier what she meant. The cashier said she had seen my baby shower video and the gym posts, and she thought the trainer guy was around a lot. Evan did not argue. He just nodded once and paid. In the car, He asked who at the store knew Noah. I said everyone knew everyone, and people talked. He asked why people thought Noah was close to us. I said because Noah was friendly and helped me when Evan was busy. Evan asked how often Noah helped. I said Evan was not going to do this in front of the baby. He did not push then. He just started the engine and drove home. That night, I saw his phone on the counter while he warmed a bottle. The screen lit for a second with a small message. File uploaded successfully. I could not see what file. I could not see where it went. The message disappeared before I could touch anything. I told myself it was work. I told myself he was just being organized. But my stomach did not believe me. When Evan came back into the kitchen, he asked if we could go to Mila's next pediatric visit together. He said it like a plan, not a request. I looked at his steady face and realized something had shifted. He was not trying to win an argument anymore. He was trying to be correct. The pediatric clinic smelled like hand soap and old magazines. Mila slept in her carrier, and I watched her chest move up and down like it was proof I was doing fine. Evan sat beside me, straight-backed, quiet. He did not look at his phone the way he used to. He looked at the wall clock instead, like time was a serious thing now. The nurse called my name, and Evan stood up at the same time as me. I told him he did not need to hover. He said he was not hovering. He was being present. I said he was acting like a supervisor. He said he was acting like a father. Inside the exam room, the nurse asked routine questions. She asked who lived in the home and who would be on the forms for Mila's care. I answered fast and said both of us. Evan asked if we could slow down and be exact. I said he was making a simple visit into a project. He said he wanted Mila's records to match reality. The doctor came in and checked Mila's weight and reflexes. I smiled and nodded like a perfect mother. Evan asked 2 calm questions about follow-up visits and insurance. The doctor answered without looking surprised. It was normal for him. It was not normal for me. I hated how steady Evan sounded, like he had practiced. When we walked out, Evan asked if we could talk in the car before we went home. I said no because Mila was asleep and I did not want to disturb her. He said we could talk softly. I said there was nothing to talk about. He said there was a lot to talk about, but he would keep it calm. In the parking lot, he asked if I would agree to clear answers about Noah. He did not accuse me. He did not raise his voice. He said he wanted dates and facts. I laughed and said he sounded like an investigator. He said he was not investigating feelings. He was checking truth. I said truth was not a spreadsheet. He said sometimes it was. I told him he was cruel to bring this up after I gave birth. He said he was not being cruel. He said he had waited and watched, and he had tried to believe me, but things did not line up. I said he was the one making things not line up, because he was always tense. He said my tension came first, not his. I turned my face toward the window and said he was punishing me. He said he was not punishing me. He was protecting himself and Mila. I almost snapped at that. Protecting Mila sounded like he did not trust me to do it. I told him I carried her for 9 months. He said carrying a baby did not make lies safe. That word, lies, landed hard. I acted shocked like I had never heard it near my name. At home, my mum was already there. She had brought groceries in a loud mood. She asked how the doctor visit went. I said Mila was perfect, and Evan was acting strange again. My mom asked what strange meant. I said he kept questioning me like I was on trial. My mom said a good husband would be grateful and quiet. Evan said he was grateful, but he would not be quiet about things that mattered. My mom told him he was selfish. Evan asked her to stop calling him names in his own home. She said it was my home too. I said yes, and I stood behind that word like a shield. Evan looked at me and asked if I wanted her to speak for me. I said she was just helping, and I said he always tried to isolate me from my family. He said he never isolated me. He just wanted peace. My mom said peace was what men asked for when they wanted control. I watched Evan's jaw tighten once. He did not explode. He did not storm out. He just picked up Mila's blanket from the couch and folded it with slow hands. That made me feel small, and I hated that feeling, so I made it his fault. That evening, we went to a family dinner at a restaurant with a long table. It was one of those places with bright lights and loud plates, where people talked over each other like it was normal. My mom sat near me like a guard. Cassidy came too, even though she was not family. She said she was support. Evan's parents came, Darla and Frank, and they greeted everyone politely but stayed quiet. I could feel the table split before the food even arrived. My mum started talking about my posts online. She said people were proud of me for being honest. Cassidy said women carried invisible work. I nodded and rubbed my belly out of habit, then remembered Mila was not inside me anymore. Evan listened without reacting. That made Cassidy bolder. Cassidy asked Evan why he looked so serious all the time. Evan said he had a lot to think about. Cassidy asked if he was angry that people could see his real behavior now. Evan said people were seeing a story, not the full truth. I said the full truth was that he did not show up for me emotionally. Evan asked what that meant exactly. I said he knew what it meant, and I said he was playing dumb. Frank, Evan's dad, asked everyone to keep their voices down. He said Mila would need calm parents. My mom said calm parents did not make a calm home if the man was cold. Darla, Evan's mom, looked at my mom and then looked away, like she was choosing not to fight. Evan asked me quietly if I would talk to him alone later. I said there was nothing to talk about unless he planned to apologize. He said he would apologize for things he actually did, but he would not apologize for asking for truth. I said truth was not his job to manage. He said it became his job when it affected his name and Mila's future. My sister Tessa was there too, sitting on the end of the table with her shoulders tight. She barely touched her food. At one point, she asked me softly if I was okay. I said I was fine and asked why she sounded weird. She said she just wanted everyone to stop acting like this. I said if Evan stopped his questions, it would stop. Evan looked at Tessa and said he was not the one who started the lies. I kicked him lightly under the table. I smiled at the group and said Evan was tired. Cassidy laughed and said, men always blamed work when they could not handle feelings. Evan did not respond. He took a sip of water and set the glass down carefully. After dinner, in the restaurant parking lot, my mum told Evan he needed to apologize to me in front of everyone. Evan said he would not do public performances anymore. My mum said that proved he did not love me. Evan said, love was not the same as letting himself be shamed. I said he was acting like a victim. Evan said he was not acting. On the drive home, I kept talking so he could not. I said he embarrassed me. I said he made my family uncomfortable. I said he should stop obsessing over Noah. Evan listened, quiet. That quiet felt like a wall I could not climb. At home, in the apartment stairwell, I carried Mila's bag while Evan carried the carrier. I saw a sticky note on his phone case when he pulled his keys out. It only said, bring forms. I pretended I did not see it. Inside, Evan set the carrier down and checked Mila's straps like he always did. Then he picked up the diaper bag and started sorting it. He removed old receipts and put fresh diapers in a neat row. He replaced the wipes. He packed a spare onesie. He moved like he was preparing for travel, not just bedtime. I asked why he was doing that now. He said he wanted things ready. I said ready for what? He said ready for whatever came next. I said he sounded dramatic again. He said he was done being dramatic. He said he was done reacting. I told him he was trying to scare me. He said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to do things correctly. I said correctly was not love. He said love without truth was not safety. I stepped closer and said he was breaking our family. Evan looked at me for a long moment. His eyes were tired, but his voice stayed level. He said he was not breaking anything. He said it was already broken, and he was just going to handle it properly. He did not speak to me much after that stairwell moment. He still woke up for Mila. He still washed bottles. He still drove us to appointments. But he did it like a stranger who knew the rules of a house. 2 days later, I was at the dental office when my phone buzzed. Evan wrote that he needed me to meet him in a lobby downtown at lunch. He said it was important and time-sensitive. I asked what it was. He said we would talk in person. I told myself he wanted to scare me. I told myself he wanted to stage a scene so I would look unstable. I told Cassidy that Evan was trying something. She said I should bring someone with me. I said that would look weak, and I said Evan would use it against me. At noon, I walked into an office tower lobby that smelled like coffee and polished stone. People moved fast with badges on lanyards. Evan stood near a seating area with Mila's carrier beside him. He looked calm, like he had slept for the first time in weeks. I asked why he brought the baby. He said he was following a schedule. I asked what schedule. He said I would see soon. A woman in business clothes walked up and said Evan's name. She did not look at me like a friend. She looked at me like a job. Evan greeted her politely. He said he understood and asked where to sign. My chest went cold. The woman asked if I was Alathea Quill. I said yes. She asked for my ID. I said she had no right to ask. Evan said she did, and he said it was legal service. I told him to stop being dramatic. He said he was done being dramatic. The woman handed me an envelope. She said it was official notice about paternity testing and related family filings. She spoke in a flat voice, like she had said it all morning to other people. Evan did not smile. He did not gloat. He just watched my hands shake. I asked Evan if he seriously did this in public. He said he did it properly. I said he was trying to humiliate me. He said I humiliated him first, and he said he did not shout about it. He documented it. I told him he was cold and punishing me when I was postpartum. He said he was not punishing me. He was protecting himself and Mila. I told him he could not take Mila from me. He said he was not taking anyone by force. He was following process. I ripped the envelope open. I saw dates, instructions, and words that made my head ring. I saw a testing appointment already set. I saw warnings about false statements. I saw my own name printed in a way that did not care about my feelings. I asked Evan who put this in his head. He said nobody put it in his head. He said the timeline did. He said the videos did. He said the texts did. He said the store comment did. He said he checked everything and stopped guessing. I said he was obsessed. He said he was careful. I said he never trusted me. He said he trusted me until I taught him not to. People in the lobby stared. I tried to make my face look calm. I told myself if I looked calm, I could still win the story. I told Evan we could handle it privately. He said we were past private because I made it public for months. The next week, I went to the testing appointment because refusing would look worse. Evan came on time. He did not touch me. He did not insult me. He spoke only when asked. I tried to talk like we were still a couple. He kept his distance like a boundary had a shape. Days later, Evan texted that we needed to be at the courthouse at 9 a.m. I asked why. He said the result was being entered and read, and he wanted it clean and recorded. I told him he was sick. He said he was tired of being called names, and he was done arguing with my mouth. The courthouse lobby was bright and too quiet. My mom came with me and held my arm like she could hold me up. Cassidy came too, even though she was not family. Evan came with his parents. Darla looked straight ahead. Frank nodded at a sign about decorum like he agreed with it. A clerk called our names. We stood in a small public hallway outside a room with an open door. A few other people waited nearby, pretending not to listen. I could feel their ears anyway. The clerk said the paternity result was filed. The clerk said the test excluded Evan Quill as Mila's biological father. My mum made a sound like a broken breath and said it had to be wrong. Cassidy said the system was cruel to mothers. Evan did not respond to them. He only asked the clerk what the next step was for updating the record and temporary orders. The clerk answered calmly and pointed to a line we had to follow. I looked at Evan and told him he was destroying us. He looked back and said he was only ending the lie. Then the clerk repeated the result one more time for the record, and the hallway stayed quiet except for my breathing.